Hi guys, welcome again. So this is session 2. So I'm going to show things about how you define variables, what is constants, so what are the things in Python, right? We will get started with some basic programs, right? So what do you mean by a variable? In any programming language, you want to store some value, right? So what is a program basically? A program is you give an input, right? Input can be anything to a program. It does some process and you get back an output. It's as simple as that, right? So you give an input, it does some process, you get back some output. So well, on this process, you want to store some values in some memory, correct? So you want to add two numbers. So to adding two numbers, what is the general algorithm? Read AB, correct? Now you're gonna, after read AB from the user, after reading AB, you're gonna add A, B. What do you need to do? Store it in C. What do you mean by A, B, and C? So these are some memory locations or addresses. Suppose I enter some value. If someone gives you some, suppose this example, if someone comes and gives you some money, right? If someone gives you some things, so you store it at some place, right? That is a location. So you're storing some value in a location. So that values or labels are called variables. So you say read A, B, again, so I'm going to user, whatever the user enters, you're going to store it in A and store it in. Now for adding, you perform addition. Who performs the addition? The processor performs the addition, right? So generally, the memory you use is a RAM, right? The running program, the memory used is a RAM, correct? And the processor is the one who processes the instruction. So you say add A comma B, you add two numbers and store it in another location called C. You name the location as C. Now, so once you got that result, right? You want to display or something. So you can say print C, print in the output. So this is general basic steps or algorithm to add two numbers, read A and B, add A and B and store it in C, print C. So to do that in any language, you need some variables. What do you mean by variables? Storing the values, correct? So where the values will be stored, the value will be stored in the main memory generally. On top of RAM, the Python has its own process, will be running inside that process. You will have your own space where the variables will be declared in a running Python program, okay? Right. Okay. So how do you declare a variable in Python? Python doesn't have like in any other programming languages. You would have seen C, C++, Java. You need to follow the data types. Python is automatically typed, right? So dynamically typed. People say it is a dynamically typed. At runtime, it recognizes what you are going to do. So are you going to do an integer addition? Are you referring to a string? Are you referring to a character? Right? Correct. Let's follow that pattern, right? Before going to that, what is the data we have in day-to-day life? We will cover that in our next session also, the data types. So, but still I want to give a picture. What are the data we have in real life? We have a number, right? Including integers or float, I say decimals. We have a character or a group of characters. Group of characters where in programming strand we call as a string, right? And you can say something like a true or false type of thing, which we call it as a Boolean. General data, right? We have whenever we do, not only in programming, in every day-to-day life. Numbers like 10, 12, 13, minus 10, minus 12, the numbers, the decimals, the character or a group of character, or a Boolean type of thing. When I say Boolean, it's just a true or false. You say yes or no type of thing. Okay. So today we're going to see a simple thing where how to add two numbers, basic addition. I just want to get into that quick, right? Then I will show what is the expression, what is a constant there, and what is all value, all those things we will cover, right? So let me open idle. So here we are. So now I'm just simply going to do a equal to 10. What does it mean? So I am assigning a value of 10 to a location, to a variable or a label called 10. Okay. A Python works little bit different. When you see C or C++, this 10, what happens when you do A equal to 10 is, it creates a memory of that many bytes and it copies the value of 10 to that memory. But in Python, it's little bit different. There is a concept of mutable and immutable. So those things we will come back later. But what happens exactly in Python is the value 10 is already there in the memory. Now A is a label which just points to that 10, right? A set of integer values, a floating point values is already defined in memory. So we know these are the values will always be exist, right? So 10 is already there in the memory, correct? And A is a label is pointing to the 10. Suppose the value of A you change in the next step, it is just like you're pointing to a different address, correct? So that's how it typically works. So when I say A equal to 10, A is a label which is pointing to a location where 10 is there, correct? Right? So that's all it's all about. Now to just print that value, just print A. So if you run this, you just get back whatever you stored in that value. It's not big magic, it's quite easy, right? Okay, so now I will show how to add two numbers. Then you will know all these terms. So when I say b equal to 20, it's another variable, right? Which is pointing to a location where 20 is there. Now I say c is equal to a plus b. So in any programming languages, this equal to symbol is assignment, right? Most of the languages. So when you say assignment, the right side value is computed and assigned to the left side value. So that is what called R value and L value. R value will be an expression which will compute, and L value is a memory location, or L value is a label which will be pointing to a memory location, generally in a programming construct. So when I say A plus B, what all you're doing is 10 plus 20, which is 30, is stored back in A, C, sorry. So you're using three different labels pointing to three different memory locations here, and you're finally doing some addition. So if you see A, B, C are the variables here, 10, 20, and whatever, that's a constant. And expression, A plus B is an expression. So what is L value and R value? R value is A plus B, right? Because the expression, the right hand side will be computation. So it will compute, calculate, finalize, and left value is the location or a label, right? L value is a label. You cannot do like this. A plus B equal to C is wrong, right? Let's try to run this by giving wrong way. So when I try to run this, A plus B equal to C, so it clearly tells you cannot assign something like this. It tells, no, you're doing something very badly wrong, right? So A plus B, okay, right. Let me print C. So you could see 30. So basically, yeah. So that's what you need to know. It's variable, what is a constant, what is expression, L value is R value. Python has a very good thing of multiple assignment also. Many other programming languages, if you would already know C, C++, it doesn't have that type of feature, right? So Python is good in that perspective. I can do something like this in Python. A comma B is equal to 10 comma 20, right? Let's try this. Same. So it has a good knowledge on assigning sequentially. So when I say A comma B, 10 is assigned to A, 20 is assigned to B, right? So as I told, Python is dynamically typed. You don't need to specify whether it's an integer, whether it's a decimal. It will automatically understand. Unless until once you assign some value and you read it back again, you need to be very good in that, right? So this is good type of assignment, right? So it saves some time. So you say A comma B is equal to 10 comma 20. That's what multiple assignments in Python. So the next thing, comments. So how you want to do comments in Python, right? So for comments, what do you mean by comments? So this is a source code, right? You type it this code. Suppose you want to exclude some lines. You type, suppose you write something like printing hello world here, print hello. So when you run this program, it will print hello. The program will execute line by line, right? It will print hello. Then it will assign 10 and 20 to A and B. That means A and B are a label pointing to 10 and 20 in that memory locations. And then C, you put the A plus B, right? And you print C. So when I run this, you will get hello and followed by 30. It's not big deal. You get allow what you print, and the next print is 30, right? Suppose I don't want to print allow, but I want to be part of the program. At some time I want to print and sometime. So you just exclude this by giving this hash symbol. It's a comment in Python, hash. So it is, if you see, open the code, you could see that line, but it is not part of the runnable program. So when you run this, you won't be seeing that. So that's what all about comments. Suppose what if you want to comment multiple lines? So you can simply give hash in each line, right? If you don't want to print multiple lines, you can ask me why you don't want to print first of all. There could be situations where you type a program, you try something, a particular block, you comment it, and you try your logic, because sometimes logics may not work, right? You will brainstorm. You try it, you comment it, and come back again, uncomment it, and try it back again, right? Likely it might work. So those type of scenarios, right? So if you don't want to do put hash hash in each line of comment, so this is multi-line comment in Python, giving three quotes. So things between the three quotes completely is a multi-line comment. So all the things like these two lines are completely excluded now from the file, right? So you'll see, you don't see those three lines. If I remove this, right, you will see those three lines. See here. So that's how it typically works, right? So coming to string literals. So what do you mean by string literals? String literals are something where similar to 10 and 20, right? I can assign some value. A is equal to learn the tech. So you already have learn the tech value in A. So Python creates a string called learn the tech, and A is a label which is pointing to that memory location. So that's a concept. Again, the concept of mutability we will see in our upcoming sessions. So that will give you more idea like what is changing or what is not changing. Okay. So how a structure of Python program looks like. Its Python program is intended based upon spaces. So you need to be very careful while you type something, right? Say for example, I want to add two numbers only based upon the positive numbers. Okay. I say A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3. And if I want to write a if condition, if only A is greater than B, if you type enter in idle, it shows. So it doesn't, you need to put a colon here. We will see detailedly how if conditions and everything looks like. All I want to give you is some idea about how Python structure looks like. If I say if A greater than B, I say print A, else print B. So the blocks are meant, suppose this block is only belongs to this if condition, right? The blocks are meant with spaces, white spaces. The Python program is more readable based on white space. It doesn't have those curly brackets in other languages. If you have learned C, C++, Java, right? So you just put this colon and you just print A or print B. So that's how typical Python structure typically looks like. So if you want to define any type of functions, don't worry all these things, guys. Like all these things we will learn more detailedly in our upcoming sessions, right? So I just want to show the indentation. Python white spaces are more important, right? The indentation, it has a meaning. So this is a block and this is another block, right? Okay, thanks. We will see more details in the upcoming sessions, the further topics. Thanks.